Right, I'd like to welcome you all here today. My name is Sian Ruddick and I'm the Midlands Regional Chair for PCS. This is a private union meeting and nothing to do with the university, especially when everything collapses behind us for any sort of risk assessment. Also, when you leave, could you please leave quietly because there are exams starting this afternoon. So I would like to welcome colleagues in the UCU and for the first time in this dispute Unite in the health sector as well as PCS colleagues. I'm aware that there are also comrades from other unions here and TUC members who of course are most welcome. We have had a couple of messages of support. First of all, Unison in the Midlands region from Ravi, their regional secretary, has stated, on behalf of the 115,000 Unison members in the West Midlands, I would like to express our full support and solidarity for your union's day of action. We pledge to fight and campaign alongside other public service unions to secure an acceptable outcome to the ongoing discussions with the coalition government on public sector pensions.
Why aren't they open?
I think we just take the message of support in the sort of way it was sent. I think that debate is for another forum. We have also had solidarity from Egypt, from the Egyptian Doctors Union National Executive, from Dr. Mona Mina, stating solidarity with the May the 10th strike of British health and public service workers against cuts in pensions. In Egypt, we are also in an ongoing struggle against the same neoliberal attacks on our health and public services, our wages and conditions and privatisation. And I think today is important. We're proving to the government that we haven't gone away, that we are fighting. We will continue to fight them until we win. And not just the unions are involved today, but most of you will be aware, I hope you are, that the prison officers have walked out in protest. And outside many of the prisons there have been protest meetings, which obviously people are aware prison officers are banned from striking, so this is a major step forward. And I think it's also very important today in the current climate that we're seeing, not just in this country with the elections last week, but what is happening across the whole of Europe. People are not prepared to put up with austerity, and this is what we will show them today and in the future. So I would like to welcome, we have a speaker from each of the unions today and also from the TUC. So first of all, I'd like to welcome Lee Barron, who's the chair for the Midlands TUC.
Afternoon everybody, and I'd like to start by bringing you some fraternal greetings, obviously on behalf of the Midlands Region TUC, but also my own union as the Regional Secretary for the Communication Workers Union. Our members, be they telephone engineers, postmen and postmen, across the Midlands today and across the country, would have refused to cross the picket lines that so many of your members were out on this morning. When we do that, we break the law. We're not allowed to do it, but we work on a fairly simple principle in our union, that we'd rather break the law than break your picket lines any day of the week. And that's why we're doing it. And I think it's interesting today because obviously what's going to catch the news is going to be this strike and the tremendous efforts that everybody's put into it. Also we've heard about the prison officers now walking out in protest, along with some thousands of police officers that are demonstrating and marching through central London today as well in relation to I just think, to be honest, it's about time that we started to turn around and point this out to people and stop these arguments that are coming across in the press every time that this is somehow one sector's fight and another sector basically opposing it. This is everybody's fight and everybody's struggle as we campaign for fair pensions for everybody, because we as a movement, and I've often said this, it's the trade union movement which is the last line of defence for millions of people in this country, both in the workplaces that we represent and the communities in which we serve. If we don't stand up and we don't say enough's enough, then what's going to happen? What sort of society are we going to have? What sort of country are we going to leave for our kids, our children? People talk about this being about the next generation. Well, it is. But it's about us as a generation as well. What are we going to be remembered for? You know, when 9 executives of the RBS Bank walk away with £27 million in bonuses between them, at the same time as millions of people are being told that they've got to put in more, get out less and work longer for them, then what are we going to be remembered for if it's not us that don't stand up and turn around and fight against the savage cuts that are happening to our members in the workplace and in the communities in which we serve? Because if we are the generation that's going to be remembered for anything, then let us be the generation that's going to be remembered as the one that put an end to the politics of greed in this country and re-established the policies of fairness back into our society. We've been here before. When I was growing up, Thatcher stole my milk. Thatcher, the milk snatcher, they called her at the time. And then I see my 7-year-old lad. First thing they took off him was the first thing he ever got, that was his baby bond. Then they took away his educational maintenance allowance, and then they're going to put his tuition fees up to £9,000. Well, Thatcher might have stolen my milk, but this shower is stealing his future. And if that ain't worth fighting for, then I really don't know what is. And I think it's essential that we take that message out there. And I think that what you've done today starts and continues to do that. You was there last June, you was there last November, and you're here this May. And long may it continue until you get a just outcome in your campaign to make sure that you get decent pensions for all. So be proud about what you've done. Be proud about what you've achieved today, and take courage from the fact that you're prepared to stand up. And I'll finish on what a lot of people often ask me. Why'd you bother? Why'd you do what you do? And all I answer them is this. If you do nothing, only one thing is certain. You'll lose. But if you do something, you just might win. You stand up, you fight back, united, we will win. Thanks very much indeed.